lied to, and should we be furious? I'm Dr. Eric Westman, and welcome back to my channel where I review and debunk nutrition misinformation online. In this video, I'm going to be crossing over into the patient point of view. And this may be tough for some of you to watch, just to let you know. It may bring back places you've been, feelings that you've had. Now, if you're more of a clinical person, you've liked all of the data that I've shown, I want to show this one because we are talking about treating people and not just data. And people get energized when they can actually find an answer. And sometimes they even get furious. So let's see what Homestead How has to say about turning into a low-carb diet that is carnivore.
We have been lied to, we have been deceived, and we have been robbed of what it means to be human.
Wow. Be sure to stay tuned to the end where I give my final thoughts.
The essence of being a human. You have been conditioned, you have been indoctrinated, and that is a shame. Because what does that mean? It means that most of humanity isn't actually living. When you're in the fog, you can't see the fog, but my goodness, when you get out of the fog, I am the captain of my own ship. The biggest fear for everyone in life is dying. What's going to happen when I die? The biggest fear should be getting to death having never really lived. And if you don't admit that, it's a dangerous thing. And people get mad at me, but if you come to my channel, I'm gonna give you the truth. I'm gonna give you honesty. I'm not gonna coddle you. My big carnivore epiphany is all of these health issues heal, but do you know what happens that nobody talks about, that I'm gonna tell you about right now? This is what happens. Beep. Carrie here from Healing Humanity, the Power of a Proper Human Diet. I'm a proud carnivore along with my carnivore sidekick Baxter right there. Eating a proper human diet has changed my life forever. I'm down over 100 pounds since my heaviest, but I don't care about the weight. I overcame so many other issues, but something even more profound happened than all of those issues. Something that I don't see other people talking about. Something that I'm gonna cover in today's video. Just to quickly recap for those that are new, I'm down over 100 pounds since my heaviest. I was diagnosed with IBS. That is gone. I was diagnosed with sleep apnea. I had a CPAP machine. I don't need it anymore. I don't snore anymore.
So let's just stop here. This is an experience that I see over and over and over. And if you're kind of new to this area, the emotions that people go through of not being told about this, even having gone through weight loss surgery or medications that give you nausea and sickness, and then they find out how easy it can be to change their life and to have results like this. This is commonplace. I just wanted to editorialize that this is not unique. This is reliable, and it happens over and over and over. So if this is the first time you've heard it, that it may shock you. But please make a note down below if you have had this kind of experience, and tell me what your emotions are as you watch this.
2 kidney stones, I had my gallbladder removed, I had my appendix burst, all from all these stomach issues I had. I have no stomach issues anymore. The last thing for me was arthritis. I had it in my elbows, I had it in my lower back, I had it in my foot so bad. They diagnosed me with gout, they put me on all sorts of medications. They said, we're gonna have to do surgery on that toe. For 18 months, I hobbled around suffering from that pain, completely gone on a proper human diet. It's been a little over a year for me, and it has changed my life profoundly and forever. I'm doing a documentary called Healing Humanity. We're gonna change the world with this carnivore diet movie. Mark my words, we're gonna reach millions of people. I'm not gonna stop until we do. Now I'm seeing this change the lives of my very close family. My girls, I have triplets plus 1. They're all carnivore. My wife Jen is now carnivore and absolutely thriving. I witnessed my wife, who I wish to grow old with, healing over the course of a couple days just after she started carnivore, watching that inflammation go away.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff. And I have to just echo that I practice the best internal medicine of my life without drugs. I reverse all of those diseases that he had, so that one person can have all of these things stacked up on another. And just starting to get his emotional response. I mean, if only we had been following around when he's been hobbling for 18 months. I mean, this is something I see all too often in my office, and it can be reversed, and it's not really all that difficult. Now, he's talking about the carnivore diet, which is a subset of a low-carb diet. There are very few carbs. If you looked at number of grams of carbs per day, it's going to be very low. It's not always a keto diet, although often it is. That more research needs to be done, and why some people are in ketosis and some aren't on a carnivore diet. To me, that's not so important to be in ketosis. The most important thing is to not eat the junk. And so you're going to see this response with any number of diets that or approaches that lead to weight reduction, treating the root cause. But I think a low carbohydrate approach adds in the anti-inflammatory response because you are not eating the pro-inflammatory carbs. And there's some extreme anecdotal reports of people fixing diseases that the medical world could not fix by stopping eating plants. You know, if this is the first time you've heard it, it may seem weird and unhealthy, but let's keep listening.
I actually recorded her. I recorded her sleeping. She was snoring like crazy before carnivore, and on the second day of carnivore, she was snoring a little bit less. On the third day, a little bit less. On the fourth day, even more. On the fifth day, she stopped snoring completely. I'm seeing it in her face, I'm seeing it in her body, I'm seeing it in her spirit, I'm seeing it in her mood. I'm witnessing my wife healing. She's heading towards day 30 on carnivore right now, and she's doing absolutely awesome. Carnivore is life-changing for so many people. It's not carnivore though. What are we doing here? I'm not telling you meat is a magic pill that's going to cure everything for you. What I'm telling you is humanity has escaped from what is natural, and eliminating all of that garbage and eating meat, the most natural thing we can get, the most uninflammatory, nutrient-dense food in the world that we can eat, will heal everything. It's like you're telling your body, I'm going to just step to the side and I'm going to let you do your own thing, and everything heals and everything gets better. The crazy part is, it's better than our normal, but it should be the norm. All humans should feel the way I feel, free from inflammation, with a smile on my face, full of energy. No aches and pains or brain fog.
So if you've had that kind of experience, let me know. And you know, I see often my patients wanting to share this and being kind of pegged as a zealot or a keto crazy person. But no, it's because you feel so well and you want to share this. There's sort of a 3 to 6 month lag for the family to get along, because they're going to wonder if you're going to be able to sustain it. That's the first question in their mind. And so you have to show that you're actually able to do it, and then the family will follow. So don't be too zealotous at first. That can be a turnoff to some people.
My big carnivore epiphany is all of these health issues heal, but do you know what happens that nobody talks about, that I'm going to tell you about right now? This is what happens. For the first time in my life, I feel like a human, fulfilling my potential as a human. What does that mean? What does all of that mean? What does it mean to be human? Well, one of the things that sets humans apart from the millions of species on this planet, free will. We're born with free will. Humans have free will, and that's what sets us apart. But do we really have free will? I would argue the majority of humanity does not have free will. What compromises free will? Addiction. Addiction, if you know anyone that's addicted to something, they have compromised their free will, and that addiction has taken over their life. Alcohol, perfect example most people are familiar with. That person had free will and had decisions and had goals and hopes, and they were charting a path in their life, and then this addiction took over, and the addiction is leading their path. It's stealing the free will from them. The drink, the alcohol, the addiction, that's overcoming everything else, and all of their decisions are now focused around that addiction.
Yeah, I want to add in tobacco and smoking, because that really isn't free will to be hooked on something like that. And that was my prior research career before getting to low carb and keto. I helped people learn and use medicine to quit smoking. A lot of nicotine replacement, other medicines that led toward the development of Chantix, actually, as a medication to help you get over an addiction. Although a lot of people quit cold turkey with smoking cessation. And that's actually the method I use in the clinic, is cold turkey for sugar and starch, so that you stop all of those elements in the food all at once. And you have a withdrawal syndrome or cravings, that's called a withdrawal syndrome. And you might even be irritable for a few days or maybe a week. But what he's talking about is an addiction. Taking away free will is an interesting thing. And I see people come alive for various reasons, including this one, because they feel so much better and now they're in control. They're not in chronic pain. They're not having all of those things that he outlines.
The same thing is true for other addictions in life, other sorts of drugs. And I would argue the biggest addiction in the world that goes unrecognized, and people get mad at me, but I'm going to always tell you the truth. I'm not going to coddle people because it makes them feel uncomfortable. Humanity is addicted to processed foods, ultra-processed foods, sugar, and the standard American diet. Humanity is addicted to all of these things that depart us from what is natural and that steal from us our free will and what it means to be human. Now, you may think that's dramatic, but I urge you, take a big step back and try to look at this. Imagine you're an alien in a spaceship observing humans for the first time. You'd say, what are their motivations? Like, why are they doing all of these things? Why are they eating all of this junk that is clearly hurting them? Why are their bellies just boom, 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 getting bigger and bigger? Why are they suffering cancer at just crazy rates, younger and younger? Why are they getting their kids hooked early on this from a young age? They have free will, they have hopes, they have dreams, they have goals. Now, you get addicted to the standard American diet, which, by the way, nobody that is listening to this right now that feels kind of weird because I'm saying you're an addict. I'm an addict. My wife has just admitted to me yesterday I was addicted to that food, and I was trying to act like, that's no big deal, I just like it. No, you don't like it, you're addicted to it. By the way, if you're addicted to that food and you kind of feel a little bit of shame right now or you feel uncomfortable, please don't feel uncomfortable and please don't feel any shame. This food was highly engineered to be highly addictive to you. They are manipulating you. They are lying to you. They are telling you this stuff isn't that bad. Oh, it's just fine. Have a little bit more. While they're giving you highly addictive substances that have been normalized and that were also, by the way, generationally normalized.
Yeah, so the book Salt, Sugar, Fat by Michael Moss gives you the detail of how industry is creating food that people can't stop eating. Well, and now there are these drugs to help you not eat the food in the first place, or you could just not eat the food. So Michael Moss followed up with a book called Hooked, and he talks about this. And in this book called Hooked, he describes now, almost like the tobacco situation many years ago, that the industry, when sued about the food causing a problem, will use the defense of, well, you knew it was bad, wasn't you? Didn't you? You knew it was bad, that McDonald's was bad. And people say, yeah, I knew. So yeah, sure, see, it's not addictive. They knew, no. So I met people who knew cigarettes were bad, knew smoking was bad. They couldn't quit. Even they couldn't quit because after a laryngectomy, so they have cancer of the voice box, it gets removed, and that's because of the smoking. They still smoked through the little hole in their throat called a stoma because they wanted or needed or were addicted to the nicotine in the tobacco. So we're at that stage where I remember growing up, my parents smoked. You would be smoking in the car, in the airport. Remember those airplanes where you'd go up and then they'd say, okay, you can smoke. And the funny thing, the smoking section in the back, it would just come all over through the air, filtration, circulation system in the plane. It was a joke. And that, going to a restaurant, the no smoking section where the smoke would be billowing everywhere. So I'm afraid that it took a long time for people to understand that it was unhealthy, even though it was kind of obvious after that. I think it's going to become obvious that sugar is the problem when people start wearing their own little glucose sugar watches and their monitors here and there. But you don't have to wait to put those things on. And the best thing to do would be to do a cold turkey cessation of the addictive substance. So I like this direction.
It was normalized for your parents and your parents gave it to you. Of course, there's no way that you should know any better. What is that called? That is called indoctrination. You have been conditioned, you have been indoctrinated to just, sugar's fine, that's just the way it is, that's the way it's normal. I'm getting fatter, I'm getting unhealthier, I'm getting sicker, I don't have free will. Every decision I make in life is, what are we gonna eat next? What are we gonna do next? What are we gonna do this next? And then you're gonna plop your butt down on the couch because you are fatigued. Why are you fatigued? Because the food you're eating is making you sick. And I call it food, but it's not food. Unless you're eating beef, butter, bacon, eggs, single ingredient items that humans were intended to eat, you're not eating food. You're putting waste into your body, and what is happening to your body? Your body is wasting away. You have the standard American brain fog. You have fatigue and you are sick. And you are going along with that addiction. And every decision you're making in life is steered by that addiction. You are no longer the captain of your own ship. That addiction is steering you. Humans have free will. That is a true statement, but the majority of humanity living on this earth right now is not exercising their free will because it is being hijacked by this addiction. Many addictions on earth, some people it's hijacked with alcohol, some people it's hijacked with drugs. Most people it's hijacked with the food that they're addicted to. And just think about it, when I say this to people, they'll say things like, well, I could never give up my orange juice. I could never give up this. I could never give up that. How is that not an addiction? You don't need those things to survive. You don't need processed sugary junk cereal in the morning for breakfast to survive. It's doing the opposite of helping you survive. It's slowly killing you. It's literally the opposite.
Yeah, the argument, well, you have to eat. Well, you don't have to eat the bad food that he's talking about, whatever you want to call it. I mean, we called it junk food. There's still junk food. Now there's keto junk food. So be careful because you want to, like he's saying, eat real food as much as possible. And let me know what you think about his argument here. And he is making a documentary film to go into this in greater detail. Let's just watch another minute or two.
How is that not an addiction when people are like, it's just fine. Oh, I don't have to have it. I just enjoy it, but I could stop at any time, but I'm never going to stop. I'm never going to stop. So
that reminds me of Mark Twain's statement, it was attributed to him, that he quit smoking thousands of times and then just started the next day because it was such an addiction.
The point of this video is to say, what makes humans unique is free will. But most humans are not exercising that free will. And that is a shame, because what does that mean? It means that most of humanity isn't actually living. What a shame to have the miracle of life and then squander it, going through your entire life in a brain fog, fatigued stupor, in a slight form of intoxication, almost like you're a little bit drunk your entire life. And you got aches and pains and ailments. Oh, I got a headache. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I can barely get out of bed. Oh, I got to plop down on the couch because my life is so hard. Your life is harder than it needs to be because you're sick, because you're brain fog, because you're fatigued, because you're putting toxins in your body that's taking a toll on your body. It's messing with your hormones, it's messing with your sleep, it's messing with your energy, it's messing with your mindset, and it's controlling your free will. What a sad thing that so many humans in this world are going to go their entire lives never having actually lived.
I'm looking forward to this video, the documentary film that he's working on, because with that kind of passion, I hope it speaks to a lot of people. In my own clinic, anyone can tell you not to eat carbs. I do that. So the simple program that I teach, a low-carb diet, one-page list of foods, anyone can teach that. But the joy I get is in reversing medical problems that other doctors don't know that they can reverse, and to see people come alive and regain life and vitality that they thought they would never have again. And so, if you're in that fog, there is hope. And if you've come through that fog, please let me know how you're feeling now down below, because people read, you know how it works today, the 20-somethings come in, and if they haven't looked at my stuff online yet, they'll pull up me in front of me and look at a video and see what the comments are. And one person, oh, the first 10 comments were really good. It's like, I'll listen now. So these comments have effects that you may not ever really know. So I like this kind of patient video and the emotion that can be contained in there. And today in my area, I just see the joy, especially when people come back playing pickleball. There's something about it that people get just enthusiastic about. The other thing I say to motivate people is that I have to get you in shape for retirement, because I've had people say, you know, I have all these problems and now I'm retired and I can't use my body. And yes, you can. It may take just a little time, but we can reverse all of the problems that this man had reliably. I hope that's helpful. If you like, please like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I'm sending out new videos every Wednesday and Friday. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and check out adaptyourlifeacademy.com.